fellow members, so we brought it back to the core. It always comes back to the core when we're dealing with homelessness, community violence. Just got back from an all-mayoral candidate discussion. I heard that some people that were, doing that, it was the first time that they had done that, and they felt that it wasn't too intimidating, and they got to express some of their ideas. So, for them it worked out really well. But at the end of the day, for these people that are out here that are, having to rely on the front room as their only service to help end homelessness, it didn't solve any problems.
Goes to transit, goes to school, so we don't want to be out in the boonies somewhere. It's got to be very centrally located, so we can rely on getting to what we need to do on a day-to-day basis.
Right, so now we move on to questions that people has, and I think you mentioned you had one press question.
Three existing councillors have mentioned this $10 million fund, or you said 9.5, but it's the same one you're talking about. And only one has said that 1.8 million of it is given to advocacy groups in the community for homelessness and housing. But nobody has said what they do with the rest of it. The 8.2 million, is it just sitting there?
No, it's 9.5 that's sitting there. That fund stays in perpetuity at 9.5. What happens is the interest it earns goes out every year.
And is that the 1.8?
That's the 1.8, yes. So we keep that money, and we've got a very aggressive campaign starting in 2012 to build on that fund, because it needs to get bigger, or we're going to run out of opportunity. Yeah, we're going to run out of money. So
why isn't that money spent directly on the housing, though? Why doesn't the city build the housing? They own the land in all parts of Surrey.
But we have done that on occasion. We did one with Coast Mental Health and did for 54 units over in Timber Grove. We did another one, Quibble Creek, for 36 units. We put in we have permanently housed 356 homeless. And when I say permanently housed, it isn't like we just put them in a shelter.
Yes.
We've actually found them housing. And we have a bit of we have 5 outreach workers that are actually fundamentally set up to provide those services and give them try and find them a permanent place that they can call home.
Was this all done in the last short time frame, though, or over
18 months.
18 months?
Yeah, 18 months, because it's been fairly aggressive program. And then we have 272 new units of housing, and those are the kind of the ones I was describing. But it's, housing as a singular issue, and I won't monopolize because I know everyone has a strong opinion on it, but we have to do it by way of partnerships. The city cannot, on its 8 cents out of every dollar for taxes, we cannot do it alone. Without strong partners at the table, we're doomed. We need to have those partners at the table to help us with those RAP services, and to help us as people go from recovery to transitional housing, to support housing, to transitional, and then ultimately, hopefully, to a place that they can call their own.
All right. Okay. So here, Sierra. Let me talk with these people and give me the. So Mayor X down with the people, right? This is what it's about. So if you're going to run for mayor, maybe some of these people need to come out here and actually be with the people. So if we're going to talk about the people, we're going to get the people's opinion.
Are we on?
We're on.
We're on.
Yeah.
But you know what? They got $9 million last fall,
That's right.
and I cannot believe that they've actually spent that $9 million on the homeless.
No, they haven't
You know
spent
what?
it though. That's the thing. It's
Let them talk.
The homeless is just, in parentheses, the homeless is only an issue. It's a name that they use to gather up bucks. That's what it's all about. And what they're doing is they're employing. They're doing nothing for us fucking guys.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. So they're employing the workers to kind of what?
They're employing the workers to actually. Okay, what they did is they've got BC Housing. This is a place. Okay, now or a place. It's a.
It's corporate. It's an extension of the government.
It surely is.
It's just another form of
BC
an agency.
Housing
Yeah.
is just another fucking name to gather up bucks on this end. They got $9 million. Where the fuck is it?
It's in holding.
We didn't get any clothing. We didn't get any food.
Okay.
We got nothing.
What about these outreachers? What about these outreach workers that are supposed? They said they housed 300. They said that in 18 months they housed 365 people into permanent housing. Is this
They
true?
did.
From here?
Well, it could be true. It could be very true. But where did they go? They went to places like the Dell. And,
which they're tearing down.
Which
they're
is a shit house.
They're tearing it down
that
to build
they-
a casino.
Yeah.
Okay.
Full of bugs and everything
Full of
else.
bugs.
These are the
I brought
kind
that
of
to the
places
table
that they
today,
put
guys.
people. Everybody that I know that was placed by BC Housing are displaced. Everybody that I know. There's only maybe a very few. I can about 6 people that I know that are still in their housing.
Okay, so
It's
why
a
did they get
farce.
displaced? How did they get? Once they were placed, how did they get displaced?
They got displaced because of the way that things are. The places that they were put into, they're full of bugs.
Full of
they're
bugs.
Full of fucking. It's a farce.
Yeah.
They're east. I don't want to be bad.
South
on this
Asian.
shit.
A lot of landlords are South Asian. We have a problem with that.
And these buggers are all taking advantage of this stuff.
Okay. Apartment buildings, though, they don't necessarily own the apartment buildings. These are corporations, but the corporation is doing it as well.
Corporations are the worst one.
With the apartment buildings. The majority of the apartment buildings out here, I'm finding cockroaches, bed bugs, and mice.
Yes.
Through all of them.
Yes.
All of them. From
Yes.
one building
Yes.
to the next building to the next building. And then they wonder why we're pissed off. Okay, they won't let me walk with it. I like to walk, talk with my hands.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Cool, here we go.
Woo!
This is better. This is better. This is all about freedom, right? Freedom.
Clap your
freedom
hands,
of
I can't do
people, Freedom to move around. Freedom to have democracy. Okay? So, anyway, this is my little practice run on motivation speaking here. Although some of the stuff I might say you might not like, because I don't necessarily agree with this movement, partly because it started in the USA, and we're Canadians, and Canadians do not operate with the agendas that the American government sometimes does. So, you got to factor that in mind. Let me just say what I got to say, because it's a one-time deal here, right? That's okay. It's all about democracy.
Who the
Now,
hell
the
just
other
say
thing
Canadian
is,
stuff?
I'm Merrick,
Huh.
okay? I kind of grew into this
Canadians
persona.
rock.
Buddy,
Trust
you're
me,
in
I'm
Canada.
saying, I have a non-profit. I've been working on it for 12 years. So I know all about being chopped off at the knees. Having politicians tell you, oh yeah, you can do this and you can do that, and then find out 2, 3, 4 years later, after you put in the proposal, that ain't going to go through because you're cutting somebody else's grass, and nobody wants their grass cut, right? So, what politician's going to want you to come in there and do some mad fundraising for a bunch of homeless people when they got homeless task force and all this other shit, right? It ain't happening. So guess what? You people are still sitting out here 12 freaking years later. You're camping in the same freaking tents that I started tried to fundraise years and years and years ago. So, how do you change the system? Well, I don't think this is going to work. Unless, these buildings come crumbling down, it ain't happening, okay? So you got to get a little more strategic about it, right? And, the other thing is, this is kind of like cheating in my opinion, because back in the day in 1999, I wanted to do something good. First of all, I'm a Canadian. I'm blessed. You're all blessed. You all need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and thank God that you were born in Canada. That's the first thing, okay?